Millionaire Mindset. Think rich and build wealth. A complete guide to transforming your financial future with real world examples and actionable strategies. Introduction. The wealth journey begins with you every single day. Ordinary people around the world are making the decision to take control of their financial destiny. They are not necessarily born into wealth, nor do they have some secret formula that the rest of us don't know about. What they do have is a mindset, a way of thinking, behaving, and acting that separates them from the crowd. This mindset is what we call the millionaire mindset. The truth is, becoming a millionaire isn't just about earning a high salary or inheriting money. It's about how you think, how you save, how you invest, and how you approach opportunities. Studies conducted by Dr. Thomas Stanley in his groundbreaking book, The Millionaire Next Door, revealed that the majority of millionaires in America are not flashy celebrities or trust fund babies. They are ordinary people who live below their means, invest consistently, and make smart financial decisions every single day. This book is your comprehensive guide to understanding what it truly means to think rich and build wealth. We're going to explore everything from the psychological foundations of wealth building to practical, step by step strategies that you can start implementing today. Every chapter is filled with real world examples, stories of real people who have built wealth from scratch, and actionable advice that you can put to work immediately. Whether you're just starting your career, struggling with debt, or simply looking to accelerate your wealth building journey, this guide has something for you. The principles we'll discuss are timeless, proven, and applicable to anyone regardless of their current financial situation. So take a deep breath, open your mind, and let's begin this transformative journey together. Part 1. Understanding the Millionaire Mindset. Chapter 1. What is the millionaire mindset? The millionaire mindset isn't about being obsessed with money or becoming greedy. It's about developing a healthy, productive relationship with wealth. It's about understanding how money works, how to make it work for you, and how to build a life that is financially secure and fulfilling. Think about your friend who always seems to have enough money, who never stresses about bills, and who seems to attract opportunities. That friend probably has some version of the millionaire mindset. They think differently about money than most people, and that thinking manifests in different behaviors and ultimately different results. Let's break down what the millionaire mindset actually looks like in practice. First, it's about abundance rather than scarcity. People with a millionaire mindset believe that there is enough wealth in the world for everyone to have a fair share. They don't see money as a limited resource that they need to hoard. Instead, they see it as a tool that can be used to create more value, which in turn creates more wealth. Second, the millionaire mindset is about long term thinking. While most people are focused on immediate gratification, buying the latest gadget, going on an expensive vacation, or upgrading their car, millionaires are thinking about what their money can do for them in 5, 10, or 20 years. They understand the power of compound interest and delayed gratification. Third, the millionaire mindset involves taking calculated risks. This doesn't mean gambling or making reckless financial decisions. It means doing thorough research, understanding the potential downsides, and making informed decisions that have a reasonable chance of success. Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men, famously said, "Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful." This contrarian thinking is a hallmark of the millionaire mindset. Let's look at a real world example. Consider Sarah, a 32-year-old marketing manager earning $75,000 per year. She's not a superstar earner, but she has the millionaire mindset. Instead of spending her raises and bonuses on lifestyle upgrades, she invests them. She drives a reliable 5-year-old Honda instead of a new BMW. She takes vacations but books them months in advance to get better deals. She cooks at home most nights instead of eating out. After 10 years, Sarah has accumulated over $300,000 in investments, has paid off her student loans, and is well on her way to becoming a millionaire by age 50. Meanwhile, her colleague Mike, who earns the same salary but spends lavishly, has virtually no savings and lives paycheck to paycheck. The difference isn't income, it's mindset. Sarah thinks rich. She understands that true wealth isn't about what you earn, but what you keep and grow. Another key aspect of the millionaire mindset is the belief in continuous learning. Millionaires are almost always voracious readers and learners. They understand that the world is constantly changing and that staying informed and educated is crucial for maintaining and growing their wealth. They read books, attend seminars, listen to podcasts, and surround themselves with other successful people. Let's also talk about the concept of financial literacy. The millionaire mindset includes a deep understanding of how money works, how interest rates affect investments, how taxes can be optimized, how to evaluate opportunities, and how to protect against financial risks. This isn't something that's taught in most schools, so millionaires take it upon themselves to learn these concepts through self-education. Chapter 2: The Psychology of Wealth. Understanding the psychology behind wealth is crucial for building your millionaire mindset. Our beliefs about money are often formed in childhood and deeply embedded in our subconscious. These beliefs can either propel us toward wealth or hold us back. Let's explore some common limiting beliefs that prevent people from building wealth. The rich are greedy. This belief, often reinforced by movies and media, creates an unconscious aversion to wealth. If you believe that wealthy people are morally corrupt, you'll unconsciously sabotage your own efforts to become wealthy. The truth is, many wealthy people are incredibly generous. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett have pledged to give away most of their fortunes. Wealth itself is neutral, it's what you do with it that matters. Money doesn't grow on trees. While technically true, this saying reinforces a scarcity mindset. It teaches us that money is hard to come by and that we should be afraid of running out. A millionaire mindset recognizes that money can be created through value creation, innovation, and smart investing. I'm not good with money. This self-limiting belief can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell yourself you're bad with money, you'll avoid learning about finance and making smart financial decisions. The reality is that anyone can learn to be good with money. It's a skill, not an innate talent. I don't deserve to be wealthy. Many people carry deep-seated feelings of unworthiness that prevent them from attracting wealth. This often stems from childhood messages or cultural conditioning. The millionaire mindset includes a fundamental belief that you deserve financial abundance and that you have the ability to create it. Now let's look at the psychological traits that millionaires typically share. Delayed gratification. This is perhaps the most important psychological trait for wealth building. The ability to resist the temptation of immediate pleasure in favor of greater long-term rewards is what separates millionaires from everyone else. Stanford University's famous marshmallow experiment demonstrated this concept perfectly. Children who were able to wait for a second marshmallow instead of eating the first one immediately went on to have higher SAT scores, better health outcomes, and greater financial success as adults. Growth mindset, coined by psychologist Carol Dweck. The growth mindset is the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Millionaires with a growth mindset see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than threats to their ego. Resilience, building wealth is never a straight line. There are setbacks, failures, and unexpected obstacles. Millionaires have the psychological resilience to bounce back from these setbacks and keep moving forward. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Focus and discipline. The ability to stay focused on long-term goals and exercise discipline in daily decisions is a hallmark of the millionaire mindset. In a world full of distractions and temptations, millionaires maintain their focus on what truly matters. Let's look at a real-world example of these psychological traits in action. Consider the story of Chris Gardner, the man whose life inspired the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. Gardner went from being homeless, sleeping in a bathroom with his young son, to becoming a multimillionaire stockbroker and entrepreneur. His story is a testament to the power of delayed gratification, growth mindset, resilience, and focus. Gardner could have given up countless times. He could have accepted his circumstances and settled for a life of mediocrity. Instead, he maintained his belief in himself, worked tirelessly to learn the stockbroker business, and eventually built a successful career. His story reminds us that wealth building isn't just about financial strategies, it's about the mindset and character you bring to the journey. Chapter 3: Rich BS. Poor mindset. The key difference is understanding the differences between a rich mindset and a poor mindset is essential for transforming your financial life. Let's break down these differences in detail. Rich mindset. How can I afford this? BS. Poor mindset. I can't afford this. When faced with an expensive desire or opportunity, the rich mindset asks how it can be accomplished. This question opens the door to creative solutions, finding ways to earn more, save more, or create value. The poor mindset immediately shuts down the possibility with I can't afford this, which eliminates any opportunity for growth. For example, when a rich-minded person wants to take an expensive course that could advance their career, they think, how can I afford this? Can I save up? Can I get my employer to pay for it? Can I find a scholarship? The poor-minded person immediately dismisses the idea because of the cost, missing out on potential career advancement. Rich mindset. I invest my money BS. Poor mindset. I save my money in a bank. While saving is important, Keeping all your money in a low-interest savings account means your wealth is actually losing value due to inflation. The rich mindset understands the importance of investing and putting money to work. They invest in stocks, real estate, businesses, and other assets that appreciate over time. Consider the difference between two people who each receive a $10,000 bonus. Person per mindset puts it in a savings account earning 1% interest. After 10 years, that money has grown to about $11,052, barely keeping up with inflation. Person B rich mindset invested in a diversified portfolio earning an average of 8% annually. After 10 years, that money has grown to about $21,589, more than doubling their wealth. Rich mindset, I work to learn BS. Per mindset, I work to earn. While earning money is obviously important, the rich mindset recognizes that every job and experience is an opportunity to learn and grow. They seek out positions that will teach them new skills, expose them to new ideas, and expand their network. This continuous learning eventually leads to greater earning potential and wealth building opportunities. Rich mindset, I focus on opportunities vs. Per mindset, I focus on obstacles. When faced with a new opportunity, the per mindset immediately focuses on everything that could go wrong. They see risks, challenges, and potential failures. The rich mindset acknowledges the risks but focuses primarily on the opportunities. They see possibilities where others see problems. For example, when the internet was emerging in the late 1990s, many people saw it as a fad or a potential source of problems. Jeff Bezos, however, saw an enormous opportunity to revolutionize retail. He left his lucrative Wall Street career to start an online bookstore, what we now know as Amazon. His rich mindset allowed him to see the opportunity where others saw only obstacles. Rich mindset, my money works for me vs. Per mindset, I work for my money. This is one of the most fundamental differences between the rich and poor mindsets. People with a poor mindset trade their time for money. They work a job, earn a paycheck, and that's it. If they stop working, they stop earning. People with a rich mindset build systems and assets that generate income even when they are not actively working. Consider real estate investors. They buy properties that generate rental income month after month, year after year. Even while they sleep, their properties are earning money. This is fundamentally different from working a 9 to 5 job where you only get paid for the hours you're present. Rich mindset, I build assets vs. Per mindset, I buy liabilities. Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, famously distinguishes between assets, things that put money in your pocket, and liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket. The rich mindset focuses on acquiring assets, real estate, stocks, businesses, intellectual property that generate income and appreciate in value. The poor mindset, on the other hand, tends to buy liabilities disguised as assets, a fancy car that depreciates, a big house with high mortgage payments, luxury items that lose value immediately. These purchases feel good in the moment but erode wealth over time. Rich mindset, I think long-term BS. Poor mindset, I think short-term. Millionaires consistently make decisions with the long term in mind. They might sacrifice immediate pleasure for greater future rewards. They invest for retirement, build businesses that take years to mature, and make decisions based on where they want to be in 10 or 20 years. People with a poor mindset tend to prioritize immediate gratification. They spend money as soon as they earn it, make impulsive purchases, and rarely think about the long-term consequences of their financial decisions. Rich mindset, I take calculated risks vs. Poor mindset, I avoid all risk. While the poor mindset often equates risk with danger, the rich mindset understands that avoiding all risk is actually the riskiest strategy of all. Inflation erodes the value of uninvested money, and missing out on investment opportunities can be more costly than making a bad investment. The key is that millionaires take calculated risks. They do their research, understand the potential downsides, and make informed decisions. They diversify their investments to manage risk and never bet more than they can afford to lose. Chapter 4, Building Your Financial Foundation. Before you can build wealth, you need a solid financial foundation. This is like building a house. You need a strong foundation before you can add the walls, roof, and finishing touches. Let's walk through the essential components of the strong financial foundation. Emergency fund. The first and most important step is building an emergency fund. This is money set aside to cover unexpected expenses, car repairs, medical bills, job loss, or any other financial surprise. Most financial experts recommend having 3-6 months of living expenses saved in an easily accessible account. Let me give you a real-world example. Mark and Lisa, a married couple in their 30s, learned this lesson the hard way. When Mark lost his job unexpectedly, they had no emergency fund. They were forced to put expenses on credit cards, accumulating thousands in high-interest debt. It took them 3 years to recover financially. After that experience, they made it a priority to build a 6-month emergency fund. 2 years later, when Lisa's car needed a $3,000 repair, they were able to pay cash without any financial stress. That's the power of an emergency fund. Creating a budget. A budget isn't about restricting yourself, it's about being intentional with your money. It's a plan that tells your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. The 50/30/20 rule is a great starting point. 50% of your income goes to needs housing, food, transportation, insurance. 30% goes to wants entertainment, dining out, hobbies, and 20% goes to savings and debt repayment. Let's see how this works in practice. If you earn $4,000 per month, your budget would be needs $2,000 rent/mortgage, groceries, utilities, car payment, insurance wants $1,200 dining out, entertainment, subscriptions, hobby savings/debt $800 emergency fund, retirement savings, extra debt payments. Notice that even with this budget, you're still spending $1,200 per month on wants. Budgeting doesn't mean you can't enjoy life, it means you're enjoying life strategically. Eliminating high interest debt. High interest debt, particularly credit card debt, is the enemy of wealth building. With interest rates often exceeding 20%, credit card debt can quickly spiral out of control and consume a significant portion of your income. The debt avalanche method is the most effective strategy for eliminating debt. List all of your debts from highest to lowest interest rate. Make minimum payments on all debts except the highest interest one, and put every extra dollar toward that one. Once it's paid off, roll that payment into the next highest interest debt, and so on. Consider Jennifer's story. She had $25,000 in credit card debt across 5 cards, with interest rates ranging from 16% to 24%. She was paying over $800 per month in minimum payments, barely making a dent in the principal. Using the debt avalanche method, she focused all her extra resources on the 24% card first. She picked up a side job, cut unnecessary expenses, and directed every extra dollar toward that card. In 18 months, she eliminated the highest interest card and rolled that payment to the next one. After 3 years of focused effort, she was completely debt-free and was able to redirect all that money toward investing. Understanding credit scores. Your credit score is like your financial report card. It affects your ability to get loans, the interest rates you'll pay, and even your ability to rent an apartment or get certain jobs. A good credit score 700 plus gives you access to better loan terms, lower interest rates, and more financial opportunities. Building a good credit score involves paying bills on time, keeping credit utilization low below 30%, maintaining a long credit history, and having a mix of different credit types. Let's talk about specific strategies for improving your credit score. First, set up automatic payments for all your bills to ensure you never miss a payment. Second, pay down credit card balances to below 30% of your available credit limit. Third, don't close old credit cards, even if you don't use them regularly, as the length of your credit history matters. Fourth, limit new credit applications, as each application creates a hard inquiry that temporarily lowers your score. The impact of financial education. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to finance. The more you understand about money, investing, taxes, and personal finance, the better decisions you'll make. Consider the story of Thomas, a 28-year-old engineer. Despite earning a good salary, he was living paycheck to paycheck and had no idea why. He decided to educate himself about personal finance. He read books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Total Money Makeover, and The Intelligent Investor. He listened to financial podcasts during his commute. He took an online course about investing. Within a year, Thomas's entire financial picture had transformed. He created a budget, eliminated his credit card debt, built an emergency fund, and started investing 15% of his income for retirement. His income hadn't changed, his knowledge had, and that knowledge transformed his financial life. Part 2, Wealth Building Strategies, Chapter 5, Multiple Streams of Income. One of the most powerful wealth building strategies is creating multiple streams of income. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. This diversification not only increases total earnings but also provides financial security. If one stream dries up, others continue flowing. Let's explore the different types of income streams. Active income. This is money you earn by trading your time for dollars. Your primary job is an active income stream. While active income is important, relying solely on it is risky. If you lose your job, your income disappears. Passive income. This is money that comes in with minimal ongoing effort. Examples include rental income from real estate, dividends from stocks, royalties from books or music, and income from automated online businesses. Portfolio income. This is income generated from investments, capital gains from selling stocks at a higher price than you paid, interest from bonds, and dividends from stocks. Let's look at real-world examples of people with multiple income streams. Maria is a 35-year-old teacher who earns $50,000 per year from her teaching job. Active income. On the side, she tutors students online for $50 per hour, earning an additional $10,000 per year. Active income stream. #2. She also created an online course about teaching strategies that generates $500 per month in passive income. Additionally, she invested in a rental property that generates $300 per month in rental income after expenses. Total income $50,000 teaching plus $10,000 tutoring plus $6,000 online course plus $3,600 rental equals $69,600 per year. Notice that while her teaching salary is solid, her additional income streams are significantly boosting her earnings. More importantly, these streams are diversified. If she were to lose her teaching job, she still has other sources of income. Let's talk about how to create your own multiple income streams. Start with what you know. Your skills, knowledge, and experience are valuable. Can you teach others what you know? Can you create a product or service based on your expertise? Consider the gig economy. Platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and TaskRabbit make it easy to monetize your skills on a flexible schedule. Whether you're a writer, designer, programmer, or just handy around the house, there are opportunities to earn extra income. Explore passive income opportunities. Creating an online course, writing an ebook, building a YouTube channel, or starting a blog can all generate passive income over time. While these require significant upfront effort, they can continue generating income for years with minimal maintenance. Invest in dividend-paying stocks or real estate. Both of these can generate regular passive income while also appreciating in value over time. Let's dive deeper into specific income stream strategies. Freelancing and consulting. If you have specialized skills writing, graphic design, web development, marketing, consulting, you can offer your services as a freelancer. Start by creating profiles on freelancing platforms, building a portfolio of your work, and networking with potential clients. David, a graphic designer, started freelancing on weekends while keeping his full-time job. Within a year, his freelance income had grown to match his salary. He eventually transitioned to freelancing full-time, working fewer hours but earning more because he could set his own rates and choose his clients. Real estate investing. Real estate is one of the most proven wealth-building vehicles. You can invest in rental properties, fix and flip properties, real estate investment trust rates, or real estate crowdfunding platforms. Consider the story of Brandon and Amanda, a couple in their early 30s. They started by house hacking, buying a duplex, living in one unit, and renting out the other. The rental income covered most of their mortgage payment. After 2 years, they used their accumulated savings to buy another rental property. Within 5 years, they owned 4 rental properties, generating over $3,000 per month in passive income. Online business. The internet has democratized entrepreneurship. Starting an online business has never been easier or cheaper. You can sell products through e-commerce platforms, offer services through freelance marketplaces, or build an audience through content creation. Take the example of Pat Flynn, who lost his job during the 2008 recession. He started a website helping people pass an architecture exam, and within 2 years, he was earning more from his online business than he had from his job. He eventually built multiple online businesses, generating millions in annual revenue. Chapter 6. The power of investing. Investing is the engine of wealth building. While saving money is important, investing is what transforms modest savings into true wealth over time. The power of compound interest, what Albert Einstein reportedly called the eighth wonder of the world, is what makes investing so powerful. Let's understand compound interest with a simple example. If you invest $10,000 at an 8% annual return, after 1 year, you'll have $10,800. After 2 years, you'll have $11,664. After 10 years, you'll have $21,589. After 30 years, you'll have $100,627. Notice how the growth accelerates over time. That's the power of compounding. Now, imagine you invest $500 per month starting at age 25, earning an average 8% annual return. By age 65, you'll have over $1.7 million. Start at age 35 instead, and you'll have only about $750,000. That 10-year difference more than doubles your final wealth. That's why starting early is so important. Let's explore different investment vehicles. Stock market investing. Investing in stocks is one of the most accessible ways for ordinary people to build wealth. Over the long term, the stock market has returned an average of about 7-10% annually after inflation. Index funds are an excellent choice for most investors. They provide broad market exposure at very low costs. For example, the Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund VOO tracks the 500 largest U.S. companies. Instead of trying to pick individual winning stocks, you're betting on the overall growth of the U.S. economy. Consider the story of Tom, who started investing $300 per month in an S&P 500 index fund at age 22. He continued investing consistently for 40 years, even during market downturns. By age 62, his portfolio was worth over $1.5 million. His total contributions were only about $144,000. The rest was investment growth. That's the power of consistent investing and compound growth. Real estate investing. Beyond providing passive income, real estate offers several wealth-building advantages. Properties typically appreciate in value over time, providing capital gains. Rental income provides steady cash flow, and real estate offers significant tax advantages, including depreciation deductions and the ability to defer capital gains through 1031 exchanges. Let's look at a detailed example. Suppose you buy a $250,000 rental property with a $50,000 down payment 20%. You rent it out for $1,500 per month. After paying the mortgage, insurance, taxes, maintenance, and vacancy reserves, you net $300 per month in cash flow. Over 30 years, you'll receive $108,000 in cash flow. Meanwhile, the property appreciates at a modest 3% per year, growing to about $605,000. You'll also have paid off the mortgage, leaving you with $605,000 in equity. Total return, $713,000 on a $50,000 investment. That's a 1,426% return. Retirement accounts. Taking advantage of tax advantage retirement accounts is essential for building wealth. Here are the main options: 401k or 403b. If your employer offers a retirement plan with matching contributions, always contribute at least enough to get the full match. This is essentially free money. For example, if your employer matches 50% of your contributions up to 6% of your salary, and you earn $60,000, you should contribute at least $3,606% to receive an additional $1,800 from your employer. That's an instant 50% return on your investment. Individual retirement account IRA. Traditional IRAs offer tax-deductible contributions and tax-deferred growth. Roth IRAs offer tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals in retirement. Both have annual contribution limits. Let's consider the story of Michael, a 30-year-old software developer earning $85,000 per year. He contributes $19,500 to his 401k and $6,000 to a Roth IRA each year. His employer matches 50% of his 401k contributions up to 6% of his salary, adding another $2,550. Total annual retirement savings, $19,500 plus $6,000 plus $2,550 equals $28,050. If this continues for 35 years with an average 8% return, Michael will have over $5 million in retirement accounts. His total contributions will be about $982,000. The rest is investment growth. This is how ordinary professionals become millionaires through consistent, disciplined investing. Bonds and fixed income. Bonds are essentially loans you make to governments or corporations in exchange for regular interest payments. They are generally less risky than stocks and provide stable income. As you get closer to retirement, increasing your bond allocation can help reduce portfolio volatility. Diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. A well-diversified portfolio spreads investments across different asset classes: stocks, bonds, real estate, cash, geographies domestic and international, and sectors technology, healthcare, finance, etc. This reduces risk because different assets perform differently under various economic conditions. Let's talk about a real-world diversification strategy. Consider a portfolio allocated as follows: 40% U.S. stocks, 20% international stocks, 20% bonds, 10% real estate rates, and 10% cash or short-term investments. This portfolio provides exposure to different growth opportunities while limiting downside risk. Chapter 7: Real Estate as a Wealth Builder. Real estate has been one of the most reliable wealth building vehicles throughout history. Unlike stocks, which you can't see or touch, real estate is a tangible asset that provides both income and appreciation. Let's explore why real estate is such a powerful wealth builder and how you can get started. Why real estate? Tangible asset. Real estate is a physical asset that you can see, touch, and control. This tangibility provides a sense of security that stocks and bonds don't offer. Leverage. Real estate allows you to use other people's money, the banks, to build wealth. With a 20% down payment, you control 100% of the property's value. If the property appreciates 5%, your return on investment is 25%. 5% appreciation on the full property value divided by your 20% down payment. Appreciation. Historically, real estate has appreciated at an average rate of 3-4% per year. While this might seem modest, it compounds over time and is on top of any rental income you receive. Cash flow. Rental properties generate monthly income that can cover your expenses and provide additional cash flow. Over time, as rents increase and mortgages are paid down, cash flow improves. Tax advantages. Real estate offers numerous tax benefits, including depreciation deductions, mortgage interest deductions, property tax deductions, and the ability to defer capital gains through 1031 exchanges. Let's explore different real estate investment strategies. Buy and hold rental properties. This is the most straightforward strategy. You buy a property, rent it out, and hold it for the long term. The tenant pays down your mortgage, the property appreciates, and you receive monthly cash flow. Consider the story of Derek, a 28-year-old who bought his first rental property, a small duplex, for $180,000. He put 20% down, $36,000, and rented both units for a total of $1,600 per month. After mortgage, insurance, taxes, and maintenance, he netted $200 per month in cash flow. After 3 years, he refinanced the property, pulled out $40,000 in equity tax-free, and used it as a down payment on another duplex. He repeated this process every 2-3 years. By age 40, Derek owned 8 rental properties, generating over $3,000 per month in passive income, with a total property value of over $1.5 million. House hacking. This strategy involves buying a multi-unit property, duplex, triplex, or fourplex, living in one unit, and renting out the others. The rental income offsets or even covers your mortgage payment, allowing you to live for free or very cheaply while building equity. Consider Sarah and James, a young couple who bought a fourplex for $320,000. They lived in one unit and rented out the other 3 for a total of $2,400 per month. Their mortgage payment was $2,000 per month. After expenses, they were actually making money every month while living in their own property. After 2 years, they saved enough to buy another property, and they continued the strategy to build a real estate portfolio. Fix and flip. The strategy involves buying distressed properties, renovating them, and selling them for a profit. While potentially lucrative, it requires more active involvement and carries more risk. Let's look at a real example. Alex bought a distressed property for $150,000. He invested $50,000 in renovations: new kitchen, updated bathrooms, fresh paint, new flooring. After repairs, the property was appraised at $280,000. He sold it for $275,000, making a gross profit of $75,000 before expenses. After realtor commissions, closing costs, and holding costs, he netted about $45,000 in profit, a solid return for 6 months of work. Real estate investment trust rates. If you want to invest in real estate without the hassle of being a landlord, REITs are an excellent option. REITs are companies that own and operate income-producing real estate. You can buy shares of publicly traded REIT just like stocks, receiving regular dividends from the rental income generated by the underlying properties. For example, The Vanguard Real Estate ETF VNQ holds shares in over 150 different REIT, providing diversified exposure to the real estate market. With a single investment, you own a piece of shopping malls, office buildings, apartment complexes, and warehouses across the country. Real estate crowdfunding platforms like Fundrise and Realty Mogul allow you to invest in real estate projects with as little as $500. These platforms pool money from multiple investors to fund real estate developments, providing access to investments that would otherwise be out of reach for individual investors. Chapter 8: Entrepreneurship and Building a Business. Starting your own business is one of the fastest paths to wealth. While it involves more risk than traditional employment, the potential rewards are virtually unlimited. Some of the world's wealthiest people, Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, built their fortunes through entrepreneurship. Why entrepreneurship is such a powerful wealth builder. Unlimited income potential. As an employee, your income is limited by your salary. As a business owner, your income is limited only by the value you create and the market's demand for your products or services. Equity value. A successful business is a valuable asset that can be sold for a significant sum. Many entrepreneurs build wealth not just through business income, but through the eventual sale of their business. Leverage. A business allows you to leverage other people's time, money, and resources. Instead of doing everything yourself, you can hire employees, partner with other businesses, and use systems to scale your operations. Tax advantages. Business owners have access to numerous tax deductions and strategies that employees don't. You can deduct business expenses, contribute to retirement plans at higher limits, and take advantage of various tax credits. Let's explore different types of businesses and how they can build wealth. Service-based businesses. These businesses provide a service to clients: consulting, marketing, accounting, web design, cleaning, landscaping, etc. They typically require low startup costs and can generate revenue quickly. Consider the story of Lisa, a marketing professional who started her own social media management business. She began with just herself, managing social media accounts for local businesses. Within 2 years, she had hired 2 employees and was managing accounts for over 20 businesses, generating $15,000 per month in revenue with $8,000 in profit. Product-based businesses. These businesses create and sell physical or digital products. E-commerce platforms like Shopify and Amazon have made it easier than ever to start a product-based business. Take the example of Kevin, who started selling handmade candles on Etsy. He initially made them in his kitchen and shipped them himself. As demand grew, he outsourced production to a manufacturer and used a fulfillment center for shipping. Within 3 years, this candle business was generating over $500,000 in annual revenue with $150,000 in profit. Online businesses. The internet has created unprecedented opportunities for entrepreneurs. Online businesses can reach customers worldwide with minimal overhead costs. Examples include e-commerce stores, online courses, membership sites, SaaS software as a service companies, and content-based businesses: blogs, YouTube channels, podcasts. Consider the story of Brian, who started a blog about personal finance. He initially wrote articles as a hobby, but as his audience grew, he monetized through advertising, affiliate marketing, and eventually created an online course about investing. Within 5 years, his blog was generating over $200,000 per year in mostly passive income. Franchise ownership. Buying a franchise allows you to own a business with a proven model and establish brand recognition. While franchise fees can be significant, the reduced risk and support systems can make it a smart investment. Let's talk about a real-world franchise example. Michael, a former corporate executive, invested $250,000 to open a UPS store franchise. The franchise provided training, marketing support, and an established customer base. Within 3 years, the store was generating over $600,000 in annual revenue with $120,000 in profit. Michael eventually opened 2 more locations, creating a small franchise empire. Key principles for business success. Solve a problem. The most successful businesses solve real problems for real people. Before starting a business, identify a problem that people are willing to pay to have solved. Start small and scale. Don't try to do everything at once. Start with a minimum viable product (MVP). Test it with real customers and iterate based on feedback. Once you have a proven model, then scale. Build systems and processes. To grow beyond yourself, you need systems and processes that allow others to deliver your product or service consistently. Document your processes, create training materials, and hire people who can execute your vision. Focus on cash flow. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, and cash is king. A business can be profitable on paper but still fail if it runs out of cash. Always monitor your cash flow and ensure you have enough to cover expenses and invest in growth. Surround yourself with mentors and advisors. Building a business is challenging, and you don't have to do it alone. Find mentors who have achieved what you're trying to accomplish, join entrepreneur groups, and seek advice from experts in areas where you're weak. Part 3, Wealth Building Habits and Lifestyle. Chapter 9, Daily Habits of the Wealthy. The difference between wealthy people and everyone else often comes down to daily habits. Millionaires don't achieve their wealth through one big moment or lucky break. It's the result of consistent daily actions that compound over time. Let's explore the daily habits that separate the wealthy from everyone else. Morning routine. Most successful people have a structured morning routine. They wake up early, exercise, meditate, or pray, and spend time planning their day. This proactive approach sets the tone for a productive day. Consider the morning routine of 10, a successful entrepreneur who wakes up at 5:30 a.m. every day. He starts with 30 minutes of exercise, followed by 20 minutes of meditation, then 30 minutes of reading. By 7:00 a.m., he's already accomplished more than most people do all day. He attributes his business success to this consistent morning routine. Reading and learning. Warren Buffett reportedly spends 80% of his day reading. Bill Gates reads about 50 books per year. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science by reading textbooks. The wealthy are constant learners. A study by Tom Corley, author of Rich Habits, found that 88% of wealthy people read for at least 30 minutes every day, compared to only 2% of per people. The wealthy don't read for entertainment, they read to learn. They read books about business, investing, self-improvement, biographies of successful people, and current events. Exercise and health. Physical health and financial health are closely connected. Exercise improves cognitive function, reduces stress, increases energy, and improves mood, all of which contribute to better decision-making and higher productivity. Let's look at a real example. David, a 45-year-old executive, was overweight, stressed, and exhausted. His financial situation reflected his physical state. His finances were a mess. When he committed to getting healthy, something unexpected happened. His finances improved too. The discipline he developed through exercise carried over to his financial habits. He started budgeting, investing, and paying off debt. Within 2 years, he had lost 40 pounds, reduced his stress significantly, and increased his net worth by $100,000. Goal setting and planning. Wealthy people are intentional about their time and resources. They set clear financial goals and create plans to achieve them. They review their goals daily and adjust their plans as needed. Consider the story of Amanda, who sets quarterly financial goals. Each quarter, she identifies specific targets: how much to save, how much to invest, which debts to pay off, and what new income streams to develop. She reviews her progress weekly and makes adjustments as needed. This systematic approach has allowed her to consistently grow her wealth year after year. Networking and relationships. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, according to motivational speaker Jim Rohn. Wealthy people surround themselves with other successful, ambitious people who challenge and inspire them. Let's examine this through a real example. Chris, a young entrepreneur, joined a local business networking group. Through this group, he met his business partner, found his first major client, and gained access to mentors who helped him avoid costly mistakes. The relationships he built through networking were instrumental in his business success. Time management. Time is the most valuable resource we have, and wealthy people guard it jealously. They prioritize high-value activities, delegate low-value tasks, and eliminate distractions. The Pareto Principle 80/20 rule is a time management tool used by many wealthy people. It states that 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. By identifying and focusing on the 20% of activities that generate the most value, you can dramatically increase your productivity and income. Gratitude and generosity. Despite stereotypes about wealthy people being greedy, research shows that many of the wealthiest people are actually among the most generous. They practice gratitude for what they have and give back to their communities. Consider the story of Robert, a self-made millionaire who grew up in poverty. Despite his humble beginnings, he built a successful real estate business and became wealthy. But he never forgot where he came from. He established a scholarship fund for students from his hometown, mentors young entrepreneurs, and donates 10% of his income to charity. He says that giving has actually made him wealthier. It keeps him grounded, provides a sense of purpose, and has led to business opportunities through the connections he's made through charitable activities. Chapter 10: Living Below Your Means. Living below your means is one of the most fundamental principles of wealth building. It's not about deprivation or living a miserable life. It's about being intentional with your spending and ensuring that your lifestyle doesn't consume all your income. The paradox of wealth is that many high income earners are actually broke. They earn a lot but spend even more, leaving nothing for saving or investing. Meanwhile, many moderate income earners are quietly wealthy because they live well below their means and invest the difference. Let's look at some real world examples of people who live below their means. The millionaire next door, Dr. Thomas Stanley's research revealed that the majority of millionaires in America live in modest homes, drive older cars, and don't display their wealth. The typical millionaire lives in a neighborhood where the average home price is under $300,000, drives a 3-5-year-old car, and shops at regular stores rather than luxury boutiques. Consider the story of Bill and Mary, a couple in their 40s who earn a combined $150,000 per year. Despite their above-average income, they live in a modest home worth $250,000, drive a 5-year-old Toyota and a 7-year-old Honda, and take modest vacations. They invest 25% of their income and have a net worth of over $1.5 million. Their neighbors, who earn similar incomes but live in a $500,000 home and drive new luxury cars, have virtually no savings. The key to living below your means is understanding the difference between needs and wants. Needs are things essential for survival: food, shelter, basic transportation, healthcare. Wants are everything else: the fancy restaurant, the new gadget, the upgraded car, the designer clothes. This doesn't mean you can never enjoy nice things. It means you enjoy them strategically. Instead of buying a new car every 3 years, buy a reliable used car and invest the savings. Instead of eating out every night, cook at home most nights and enjoy a nice restaurant once a week. Instead of taking expensive vacations every year, find affordable alternatives or travel during off-peak seasons. Let's explore specific strategies for living below your means. The 24-hour rule. Before making any non-essential purchase over $50, wait 24 hours. This simple rule prevents impulse buying and gives you time to evaluate whether you really need the item. Automate savings. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your savings and investment accounts. When saving is automatic, you don't have to rely on willpower. Track your spending. Use a budgeting app or spreadsheet to track every dollar you spend. Awareness is the first step to change. Negotiate everything. Many expenses are negotiable: cable bills, insurance premiums, rent, and even salaries. Don't accept the first price you're offered. Avoid lifestyle inflation. When you get a raise or bonus, resist the urge to upgrade your lifestyle. Instead, increase your savings and investment contributions. Chapter 11: Overcoming Financial Setbacks. Every wealth building journey includes setbacks. The key is not to avoid setbacks entirely, which is impossible, but to bounce back quickly and use them as learning opportunities. Let's explore common financial setbacks and how to overcome them. Job loss. Losing a job can be devastating, both financially and emotionally. But it can also be an opportunity to reassess your career, develop new skills, and potentially find a better opportunity. Consider the story of Rebecca, who was laid off from her marketing job during a company restructuring. Instead of panicking, she took a deep breath, reviewed her finances, and created a plan. She had a 6-month emergency fund, which gave her time to job search without desperation. She used the time to take an online course in digital marketing, which made her more marketable. Within 4 months, she found a new job at a higher salary than her previous position. The lesson: building an emergency fund before you need it can turn a potential crisis into a manageable challenge. Medical emergency. Unexpected medical expenses are one of the leading causes of bankruptcy in the United States. Having adequate health insurance and an emergency fund can protect you from this devastating financial blow. Let's look at a real example. When Mike's wife was diagnosed with a serious illness, they faced over $100,000 in medical bills. Fortunately, they had good health insurance that covered most of the costs, and their emergency fund covered the rest. Without these protections, they could have been financially destroyed. Instead, they were able to focus on what mattered most: his wife's recovery without the added stress of financial ruin. Market downturns, investment losses can be terrifying, especially if you're nearing retirement. But history has shown that markets always recover, and panic selling during downturns is one of the biggest mistakes investors make. Consider the story of James, who invested heavily in the stock market before the 2008 financial crisis. When the market crashed, his portfolio lost nearly 50% of its value. Instead of selling in panic, he stayed the course and continued investing. By 2013, his portfolio had recovered and was worth more than before the crash. By 2020, it had more than doubled. His patience and discipline rewarded him handsomely. Divorce. Divorce can be one of the most financially devastating events a person can experience. It involves dividing assets, potentially paying alimony or child support, and maintaining a household on a single income. While prevention is ideal, choosing a compatible partner, maintaining a healthy relationship, those who go through divorce can rebuild their financial lives. The key is to create a new budget, establish new financial goals, and potentially develop new income streams. Let's examine the story of Karen, who went through a difficult divorce at age 40. She went from a dual income household to a single income with 2 children to support. Instead of giving up, she created a detailed budget, started a side business selling handmade jewelry online, and invested consistently in her retirement accounts. Within 5 years, she had rebuilt her financial life and was actually in better financial shape than during her marriage. The key principles for overcoming financial setbacks are: accept the situation. Denial only prolongs the problem. Acknowledge what happened, assess the damage, and create a plan to move forward. Lean on your emergency fund. This is exactly what your emergency fund is for. Don't feel guilty about using it, it's doing its job. Don't make decisions in panic. During a crisis, your emotions are running high. Avoid making major financial decisions until you've had time to think clearly. Seek professional advice. Financial advisors, therapists, and legal professionals can provide valuable guidance during difficult times. Learn and adapt. Every setback contains a lesson. Identify what went wrong, what you could have done differently, and how you can protect yourself in the future. Stay positive and persistent. Your mindset during a setback determines how quickly you recover. Maintain a positive outlook. Stay focused on your goals and keep taking positive action. Chapter 12: The Role of Financial Education. Financial education is the foundation of wealth building. Without understanding how money works, you're essentially navigating your financial life blindfolded. The good news is that financial education is more accessible than ever. Let's explore why financial education is so crucial and how you can build your financial knowledge. The cost of financial ignorance. Lack of financial education can be extremely expensive. Consider these statistics. The average American household carries over $15,000 in credit card debt, often at interest rates exceeding 20%. This is largely due to a lack of understanding of how credit works. Over 50% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, leaving them vulnerable to financial emergencies. Most Americans underestimate how much they need to save for retirement and start saving too late. Many people make poor investment decisions, either being too conservative, missing out on growth, or too aggressive, taking unnecessary risks because they don't understand investment principles. These are all problems that financial education can solve. Essential financial topics to master: budgeting and cash flow management, understanding how to create and follow a budget, track expenses, and manage your cash flow is fundamental to financial success. Credit and debt management, knowing how credit scores work, how to build good credit, and how to eliminate debt efficiently can save you thousands of dollars. Saving and emergency funds, understanding the importance of saving, how much to save, and where to keep your emergency fund provides a safety net for life surprises. Investing, learning about different investment vehicles, stocks, bonds, real estate, etc. Asset allocation, diversification, and investment strategies allows you to grow your wealth over time. Tax planning, understanding how taxes work and how to legally minimize your tax burden can significantly increase your wealth building potential. Insurance, knowing what types of insurance you need and how much coverage to carry protects you from catastrophic financial losses. Estate planning, understanding wills, trusts, and estate planning ensures your wealth is transferred to the next generation according to your wishes. Real-world examples of financial education and action. Consider the story of Marcus and Alina, a couple in their late 20s. They were both earning good salaries but had no savings, carried credit card debt, and had never invested a penny. They decided to commit to financial education. They started by reading Rich Dad Poor Dad together, which opened their eyes to the difference between assets and liabilities. They then read the Total Money Makeover, which gave them a step-by-step plan for eliminating debt and building savings. They listened to financial podcasts during their commute and took an online course about investing. Within 3 years, they had eliminated all credit card debt, built a 6-month emergency fund, started investing 15% of their income for retirement, and purchased their first rental property. Their incomes hadn't changed, their financial education had transformed their financial lives. Let's explore different ways to build your financial education. Books. There are thousands of excellent books about personal finance, investing, and wealth building. Start with classics like Rich Dad Poor Dad, The Intelligent Investor, The Millionaire Next Door, and Think and Grow Rich. Podcasts. Financial podcasts are a convenient way to learn while commuting, exercising, or doing chores. Popular options include The Dave Ramsey Show, Bigger Pockets Real Estate Podcast, ChooseFi, and The Ramsey Show. Online courses. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and Khan Academy offer courses on personal finance, investing, and financial planning, many of which are free or very affordable. Financial advisors. A good financial advisor can provide personalized guidance based on your specific situation and goals. Look for fee-only advisors who are legally required to act in your best interest. Mentors. Finding a mentor who has achieved financial success can provide invaluable guidance and accountability. Many successful people are willing to share their knowledge and experience with those who are willing to learn. Part 4. Advanced Wealth Building Concepts, Chapter 13. Tax Optimization Strategies. Understanding and optimizing your tax situation is one of the most powerful wealth building strategies available. While tax evasion is illegal, tax optimization, also known as tax avoidance, is not only legal but smart. Let's explore some key tax optimization strategies. Maximize retirement contributions. Contributing to tax-advantaged retirement accounts is one of the easiest ways to reduce your tax burden. Traditional 401k and IRA contributions reduce your taxable income, while Roth contributions provide tax-free growth and withdrawals in retirement. Consider the example of Rachel, a marketing manager earning $85,000 per year. She contributes $19,500 to her 401k and $6,000 to a traditional IRA. This reduces her taxable income by $25,500, saving her approximately $6,120 in federal taxes, assuming a 24% tax bracket. Meanwhile, her investments are growing tax-deferred, compounding more efficiently than they would in a taxable account. Utilize health savings accounts, HSAs. HSAs are triple tax advantage. Contributions are tax deductible, growth is tax-free, and withdrawals for qualified medical expenses are tax-free. If you have a high deductible health plan, maxing out your HSA is one of the best financial moves you can make. Take the story of David, a 35-year-old freelancer who contributes the maximum $3,650 per year to his HSA. He invests the HSA funds in index funds and lets them grow over time. By age 65, his HSA will have grown significantly, and he can use the funds tax-free for medical expenses in retirement. This is essentially a stealth retirement account. Tax loss harvesting. This strategy involves selling investments that have lost value to offset capital gains from investments that have gained value. The net effect is a reduction in your capital gains tax liability. For example, suppose you sold stock A for a $10,000 profit and stock B for a $7,000 loss. Your net capital gain is only $3,000, which means you only pay taxes on $3,000 in gains instead of $10,000. This strategy can save you thousands in taxes each year. Real estate tax advantages. Real estate investors enjoy significant tax benefits. Depreciation deductions allow you to deduct a portion of your property's value each year, even if the property is actually appreciating. Mortgage interest deductions reduce your taxable income. And 1031 exchanges allow you to defer capital gains taxes when selling investment properties. Consider the story of Thomas, who owns 3 rental properties. Food depreciation. He deducts $15,000 per year from his taxable income, even though his properties are actually appreciating in value. This tax deduction saves him approximately $4,500 per year in federal taxes. Business tax deductions. If you own a business, you can deduct many expenses that employees cannot: home office expenses, business travel, equipment, professional development, and more. These deductions can significantly reduce your taxable income. Let's look at a real example. Sarah runs a freelance graphic design business from her home office. She deducts 20% of her rent, utilities, and internet as home office expenses. She deducts her computer, software subscriptions, professional development courses, and business travel. In total, she deducts about $12,000 in business expenses, reducing her taxable income significantly. Charitable giving. Charitable donations are tax deductible, allowing you to support causes you care about while reducing your tax burden. Donating appreciated assets like stocks instead of cash can provide additional tax benefits, as you avoid paying capital gains taxes on the appreciation. Strategic use of tax brackets. Understanding how tax brackets work can help you make smarter financial decisions. The U.S. tax system is progressive, meaning you only pay higher rates on income above certain thresholds. By managing your income and deductions strategically, you can minimize your overall tax burden. Chapter 14. Protecting your wealth. Building wealth is only half the battle. Protecting it is equally important. Without proper protection, a single lawsuit, medical emergency, or other catastrophe could wipe out everything you've worked for. Let's explore key strategies for protecting your wealth. Insurance. Adequate insurance coverage is essential for protecting your wealth. Here are the key types of insurance to consider. Health insurance. Medical bills are the leading cause of bankruptcy in the United States. Comprehensive health insurance protects you from catastrophic medical expenses. Life insurance. If you have dependents who rely on your income, life insurance ensures they'll be financially secure if something happens to you. Term life insurance is typically the most affordable option for most people. Disability insurance. This replaces a portion of your income if you become unable to work due to illness or injury. Many people underestimate the likelihood of becoming disabled, but the statistics are sobering. About 1 in 4 of today's 20-year-olds will experience a disability before reaching retirement age. Umbrella insurance. This provides additional liability coverage beyond what your home and auto insurance offer. It's relatively inexpensive and can protect you from lawsuits that could otherwise devastate your finances. Consider the story of Michael, a physician who was sued for malpractice. His professional liability insurance covered the legal defense, but the settlement exceeded his coverage limits. Chinese letter. His umbrella policy covered the additional amount, saving him from having to liquidate investments or sell his home. Asset protection structures. Certain legal structures can protect your assets from creditors and lawsuits. These include limited liability companies LLCs. If you own rental properties or a business, holding them in an LLC can protect your personal assets from business-related lawsuits. Trusts. Certain types of trusts can protect assets from creditors and lawsuits while providing estate planning benefits. Retirement accounts. Heirs of qualified retirement plans like 401ks have strong creditor protection under federal law. IRAs also have significant creditor protection, though it varies by state. Diversification. Spreading your investments across different asset classes, geographies, and sectors reduces the risk that a single event will devastate your portfolio. If one investment performs poorly, others may perform well, offsetting the losses. Consider the story of Robert, who concentrated all his investments in technology stocks. When the tech bubble burst in 2000, his portfolio lost over 70% of its value. If he had diversified across different sectors and asset classes, his losses would have been much more moderate. Estate planning. Proper estate planning ensures your wealth is transferred to your loved ones according to your wishes, while minimizing taxes and legal complications. Key components of estate planning include will. A will specifies how your assets should be distributed after your death. Without a will, the state decides how to distribute your assets, which may not align with your wishes. Trust. A trust allows you to transfer assets to beneficiaries while avoiding probate, the legal process of settling an estate. Trusts can also provide tax benefits and protect assets from creditors. Power of attorney. This designates someone to make financial decisions on your behalf if you become incapacitated. Healthcare directive. This specifies your wishes for medical treatment if you're unable to communicate them yourself. Identity theft protection. In today's digital world, identity theft is a growing threat. Monitor your credit reports regularly. Use strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication, and consider identity theft protection services. Chapter 15. The power of compound growth and patience. Compound growth is the most powerful force in wealth building, and understanding it is essential for anyone who wants to build lasting wealth. As we discussed earlier, compound growth is when your investment returns generate their own returns, creating an accelerating growth effect over time. Let's explore compound growth in more detail with real-world examples. The power of starting early. The earlier you start investing, the more time compound growth has to work its magic. Consider two investors. Investor starts investing $300 per month at age 25 and continues until age 65, 40 years. With an average 8% annual return, she'll have approximately $1,050,000 at age 65. Her total contributions, $144,000. Investment growth, $906,000. Investor B starts investing $300 per month at age 35 and continues until age 65, 30 years. With the same 8% return, he'll have approximately $440,000 at age 65. His total contributions, $108,000. Investment growth, $332,000. Investor A invested only $36,000 more than Investor B, but ended up with $610,000 more. That's the power of starting 10 years earlier. Let's look at another powerful example. Consider the story of two friends, Alex and Ben. Both earned $60,000 per year and invested wisely. But Alex started investing at age 22, while Ben didn't start until age 32. Alex invested $500 per month, while Ben, trying to catch up, invested $1,000 per month. By age 55, Alex's portfolio was worth $1.2 million, while Ben's was worth $950,000. Despite investing half as much per month, Alex ended up with $250,000 more because of the extra 10 years of compound growth. The lesson: time in the market beats timing the market. Starting early and investing consistently is more important than finding the perfect investment or trying to time market movements. The Rule of 72. This simple rule helps you estimate how long it will take for your money to double. Simply divide 72 by the annual return rate to get the approximate number of years needed to double your money. For example, at 6% return, 72 divided by 6 equals 12 years to double at 8% return. 72 divided by 8 equals 9 years to double at 10% return. 72 divided by 10 equals 7.2 years to double. This illustrates why even small differences in returns can have a significant impact over time. A 2% difference in annual return, 6% BS. 8% means your money doubles in 12 years instead of 9, a 3-year difference that compounds dramatically over decades. The danger of interruptions. One of the biggest threats to compound growth is interrupting it. Every time you withdraw money from your investments or stop investing temporarily, you break the compounding cycle. Consider the story of Lisa, who invested $200 per month from age 25 to 35. Then stopped investing for 10 years to save for a house, then resumed investing from age 45 to 65. Her total contributions were $84,000, and her portfolio was worth about $250,000 at age 65. Now consider Carol, who invested $200 per month continuously from age 25 to 65 without interruption. Her total contributions were $96,000, only $12,000 more than Lisa, but her portfolio was worth over $600,000 at age 65. The uninterrupted compounding made a massive difference. This is why it's crucial to stay invested through market downturns and to maintain consistent investment contributions. Interrupting compound growth, even temporarily, can significantly reduce your long-term wealth. Chapter 16. Networking and surrounding yourself with success. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, according to Jim Rohn. This principle has profound implications for your financial success. The people you surround yourself with influence your thinking, your habits, and ultimately your results. Let's explore how networking and relationships can accelerate your wealth building. The power of association. When you surround yourself with successful, ambitious people, their mindset and habits rub off on you. You start thinking bigger, aiming higher, and taking more action. Conversely, surrounding yourself with people who have a scarcity mindset, who complain about money, or who are content with mediocrity will hold you back. Consider the story of Kevin, a young entrepreneur who joined a mastermind group of other business owners. Through this group, he gained access to ideas, strategies, and connections that dramatically accelerated his business growth. He credits his mastermind group with helping him double his business revenue in 2 years. Finding mentors. A mentor is someone who has achieved what you're trying to accomplish and is willing to share their knowledge and experience. Mentors can help you avoid costly mistakes, provide accountability, and open doors that would otherwise remain closed. Let's look at a real example. David, aspiring real estate investor, reached out to a successful investor in his area and asked if he could buy him lunch and pick his brain. The investor agreed, and they met regularly for the next year. Through these meetings, David learned the investor's strategies, gained access to his network of lenders and contractors, and avoided several costly mistakes. Within 3 years, David had built a portfolio of 5 rental properties, generating over $2,000 per month in passive income. Networking events and communities, attending industry events, business meetups, and professional conferences can expand your network and expose you to new ideas and opportunities. Join online communities, online forums, social media groups, and virtual communities can connect you with like-minded people from around the world. Platforms like LinkedIn, BiggerPockets, and various Facebook groups provide opportunities to learn, share, and connect with others who are on a similar wealth-building journey. The give first mentality. The most effective networkers don't just take, they give. They offer value to others before asking for anything in return. This approach builds trust, establishes credibility, and creates reciprocal relationships that benefit everyone involved. Consider the story of Sarah, who attended networking events with the goal of helping 3 people at each event. She would introduce people who could benefit from knowing each other, share useful resources, and offer her expertise freely. Over time, she became known as a connector and resource, and people naturally wanted to help her in return. Her business grew significantly through these relationships, all because she focused on giving first. Building your personal board of advisors. Consider assembling a personal board of advisors, trusted individuals who can provide guidance on different aspects of your financial life. This might include a financial advisor, a tax professional, a real estate expert, a business mentor, and a trusted friend or family member who has achieved financial success. Avoiding negative influences. Just as positive relationships can accelerate your success, negative relationships can hold you back. Be mindful of the people you spend the most time with, and don't be afraid to distance yourself from those who consistently bring negativity, drama, or scarcity mindset into your life. This doesn't mean abandoning friends or family who are struggling. It means being intentional about the time and energy you invest in relationships and ensuring that the people closest to you support and encourage your financial goals. Part 5, Mindset and Transformation, Chapter 17, Overcoming Fear and Taking Action. Fear is the biggest obstacle to wealth building. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These fears paralyze people and prevent them from taking the actions that would transform their financial lives. Let's explore how to overcome these fears and take decisive action. Fear of failure. The fear of failure is perhaps the most common and most paralyzing fear. It prevents people from starting businesses, investing in the stock market, asking for raises, and pursuing opportunities that could transform their financial lives. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success, it's a stepping stone to success. Every successful person has failed multiple times. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he founded. Consider the story of James, who was terrified of investing in the stock market. He was afraid of losing his money, so he kept all his savings in a low-interest bank account. One day, a friend convinced him to invest just $1,000 in an index fund. Over the next year, the investment grew to $1,150. Encouraged by the success, he invested more and eventually built a portfolio worth over $500,000. His initial fear was unfounded, and the only thing holding him back was his own mind. Fear of rejection. Many wealth-building activities involve putting yourself out there and risking rejection, asking for a raise, pitching a business idea, networking with successful people, or selling a product or service. The key to overcoming the fear of rejection is to reframe it. Instead of seeing rejection as a personal failure, see it as a learning opportunity. Every no brings you closer to a yes, and the feedback you receive can help you improve your approach. Let's look at a real example. Maria started a side business selling handmade jewelry. Her first 10 customers said no. Instead of giving up, she asked them why they weren't interested and used their feedback to improve her designs and marketing. After 20 rejections, she made her first sale. Within a year, she was making over $1,000 per month from her jewelry business. Those first 20 rejections were essential to her success. They taught her what she needed to improve. Fear of the unknown. Uncertainty is uncomfortable, and many people prefer the certainty of their current situation even if it's not ideal to the uncertainty of trying something new. But wealth building requires stepping into the unknown. Starting a business, changing careers, investing in new markets, these all involve uncertainty. The key is to manage that uncertainty through education, planning, and gradual exposure. Consider the story of Robert, who spent 15 years in a stable corporate job. He was comfortable but unfulfilled, and he knew he wanted to start his own business. Instead of quitting his job immediately, he started his business on the side while maintaining his corporate income. This allowed him to take calculated risks without jeopardizing his financial security. After 2 years, his business was generating enough income to replace his salary, and he transitioned to full-time entrepreneurship with minimal risk. Analysis paralysis. Sometimes, fear manifests as overthinking and overanalyzing. You research every possible option, consider every potential outcome, and never actually make a decision. This is known as analysis paralysis, and it's a major wealth killer. The cure for analysis paralysis is to set a deadline for decision making and to accept that you'll never have perfect information. Most financial decisions don't need to be perfect, they just need to be good enough. You can always adjust course later if needed. Chapter 18: Gratitude and Generosity as Wealth Accelerators. This might seem counterintuitive, but practicing gratitude and generosity can actually accelerate your wealth building. Let's explore why. The abundance mindset. Gratitude fosters an abundance mindset, the belief that there is enough for everyone and that wealth is not a zero-sum game. When you're grateful for what you have, you're less likely to feel desperate or scarcity-driven in your financial decisions. This leads to better decision-making and more opportunities. Consider the story of Thomas, who was always stressed about money despite earning a good salary. He felt like he never had enough, and the scarcity mindset led him to make poor financial decisions, overspending, taking on unnecessary debt, and avoiding investments because he was afraid of losing money. When Thomas started a gratitude practice, writing down 3 things he was grateful for every day, something shifted. He started appreciating what he had instead of focusing on what he lacked. This new mindset led to better financial decisions. He stopped impulse buying, started investing consistently, and eventually built significant wealth. The gratitude didn't directly create wealth, but it created the mindset that enabled wealth building. Generosity as an investment. Giving to others, whether through charitable donations, mentoring, or simply helping those in need, can generate returns in ways that aren't immediately obvious. First, generosity builds relationships. When you help others without expecting anything in return, you build goodwill and trust that can lead to business opportunities, referrals, and partnerships. Second, generosity provides perspective. When you give to those less fortunate, you gain a better appreciation for what you have and a clearer sense of what truly matters. This perspective can help you make better financial decisions, focusing on long-term wealth rather than short-term gratification. Third, generosity can provide tax benefits. Charitable donations are tax-deductible, allowing you to support causes you care about while reducing your tax burden. Let's look at a real example. David, a successful entrepreneur, established a mentorship program for young people from underserved communities. He invested his time and money in helping them develop business skills and financial literacy. Many of these young people went on to start successful businesses, and several became clients or partners in David's ventures. His generosity created a network of grateful, loyal relationships that benefited his business significantly. The joy of enough. One of the most powerful wealth building concepts is understanding what enough means for you. Many people chase wealth endlessly, never feeling satisfied with what they have. This hedonic treadmill leads to perpetual dissatisfaction and often prevents people from enjoying the wealth they've built. Defining your enough gives you a clear target to aim for and prevents the endless pursuit of more. It allows you to build wealth intentionally, not compulsively. Consider the story of Jennifer and Mark, a couple who earned over $200,000 per year but felt perpetually dissatisfied. They were always comparing themselves to wealthier friends, always wanting a bigger house, a nicer car, or a more luxurious vacation. Despite their high income, they had little savings and significant stress. When they took the time to define their enough, they realized that what truly mattered to them was time with family, good health, and meaningful work, not material possessions. This realization transformed their financial habits. They downsized their home, drove more modest cars, and focused on saving and investing rather than spending. Within 5 years, they had accumulated significant wealth and, more importantly, found genuine satisfaction and peace. Chapter 19: Building a Wealth Legacy. Building wealth isn't just about your own financial security, it's about creating a legacy that benefits future generations. A wealth legacy includes not just financial assets, but also values, knowledge, and opportunities that you pass on to your children and grandchildren. Teaching financial literacy to your children, One of the greatest gifts you can give your children is financial education. Start teaching them about money from an early age. Give them an allowance, teach them to save and budget, involve them in financial decisions, and talk openly about money in age-appropriate ways. Consider the story of Michael, a self-made millionaire who grew up in poverty. He was determined that his children would have a different relationship with money than he did. He started teaching them about money at age 5, giving them a small allowance and requiring them to save 50% and donate 10%. By age 10, they were investing in index funds. By age 15, they had their own savings accounts with significant balances. As adults, all three of his children are financially savvy. They invest consistently, live below their means, and have built successful careers. Michael credits their financial education for their success. I didn't just leave them money, he says. I left them the knowledge to grow and protect it. Creating a family mission statement. A family mission statement defines your family's values, goals, and purpose. It provides a framework for financial decisions and helps ensure that wealth is used in alignment with your family's values. For example, the Johnson family created a mission statement that emphasized education, community service, and financial responsibility. This mission statement guided their financial decisions, prioritizing education savings, donating to community causes, and teaching their children about money. The result is a family that is not only wealthy but also purposeful and unified. Establishing a family trust. A family trust can protect your assets, provide tax benefits, and ensure that your wealth is distributed according to your wishes. Trust can also include provisions for managing wealth responsibly, such as requiring beneficiaries to maintain employment or education as conditions for receiving distributions. Let's examine the story of the Williams family, who established a family trust with provisions requiring beneficiaries to complete college and maintain employment before receiving full access to their inheritance. The trust also included provisions for matching earned income, essentially rewarding work and responsibility. The result was a family of motivated, productive individuals who viewed the trust as a tool to enhance their efforts, not a substitute for them. Philanthropy and giving back. Many wealthy families establish charitable foundations or engage in structured philanthropy as part of their legacy. This not only benefits the community but also teaches family members about responsibility, compassion, and the proper use of wealth. Consider the story of the Martinez family, who established a small foundation that provides scholarships to first-generation college students. The family members are actively involved in the foundation's work, reviewing applications, interviewing candidates, and mentoring recipients. This involvement teaches the younger generation about giving back and provides a sense of purpose beyond material wealth. The power of compound legacy. Just as compound interest grows financial wealth over time, a compound legacy grows your family's values and knowledge across generations. Each generation builds on the foundation laid by the previous one, creating a family culture of financial responsibility and purpose. Chapter 20. Your Millionaire Action Plan. Now that we've covered the principles and strategies of the Millionaire Mindset, it's time to create your personal action plan. This plan will serve as your roadmap to financial success. Step 1. Assess your current financial situation. Before you can plan your journey, you need to know where you currently stand. Calculate your net worth by listing all of your assets, savings, investments, property, retirement accounts, and subtracting all of your liabilities, credit card debt, loans, mortgage. Consider the story of Lisa, who was shocked when she calculated her net worth and found it was negative $45,000 due to student loans and credit card debt. This wake-up call motivated her to create a plan to eliminate her debt and start building wealth. Step 2. Set clear financial goals. Write down specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound SMART financial goals. For example, pay off $15,000 in credit card debt within 24 months, build a 6-month emergency fund within 12 months, save $50,000 for a down payment on a rental property within 36 months, achieve a net worth of $500,000 within 10 years. Step 3. Create a budget using the 50/30/20 rule as a starting point. Create a detailed budget that allocates your income to needs, wants, and savings/debt repayment. Track your spending for at least 1 month to identify areas where you can cut back. Consider the example of David, who was spending $600 per month on dining out and entertainment. By reducing this to $200 per month, he freed up $400 per month for debt repayment and savings. Over a year, this simple change freed up nearly $5,000. Let's explore some additional real-world examples of successful budgeting. The envelope method. Ashley, a single mother of 2, struggled with overspending on credit cards. She switched to the envelope method, putting cash in labeled envelopes for each budget category: groceries, entertainment, gas, etc. When an envelope was empty, she stopped spending in that category. Within 6 months, she had eliminated all credit card debt and was living within her means. The physical act of handing over cash made her more aware of her spending than swiping a card ever did. The zero-based budget. Marcus and Tanya, a dual-income couple, adopted zero-based budgeting, where every dollar of income is assigned a specific purpose before the month begins. They gave every dollar a job, whether it was for bills, savings, debt repayment, or entertainment. This approach eliminated the "where did my money go" feeling and gave them complete control over their finances. Within 2 years, they had paid off $40,000 in student loans and saved $25,000 for a down payment on their first home. The cash-only challenge. Jake, a 28-year-old with a spending problem, challenged himself to use only cash for 1 month. He withdrew his budgeted amount on the first of the month and lived exclusively on that cash. The experience was eye-opening. He realized how much unconscious spending he was doing. After the challenge, he continued using cash for discretionary spending and saved an average of $400 per month. The subscription audit. Nicole, a 35-year-old professional, reviewed her bank statements and discovered she was paying for over 15 subscription streaming services, gym memberships, software tools, and magazines that she rarely used. She canceled the one she didn't use regularly, saving $200 per month. That's $2,400 per year that she redirected to her investment account. The meal prep revolution. Carlos, a college student on a tight budget, started meal prepping every Sunday. By cooking in bulk and planning his meals for the week, he reduced his food spending from $500 per month to $200 per month. He invested the $300 monthly savings in a Roth IRA, and after 4 years of college, he had accumulated over $14,000 in retirement savings, more than most people have at that age. These examples demonstrate that budgeting isn't about deprivation, it's about being intentional with your money and making conscious choices about where your dollars go. Step 4. Build your emergency fund. Start by saving $1,000 as quickly as possible, then build up to 3-6 months of living expenses. Keep this money in a high-yield savings account where it's easily accessible but earning some interest. Step 5. Eliminate high-interest debt using the debt avalanche method. List all your debts from highest to lowest interest rate and focus your extra resources on paying off the highest interest debt first. Once it's paid off, roll that payment to the next debt, and so on. Step 6. Start investing. Once you have an emergency fund and have made progress on debt repayment, start investing. Begin with your employer's retirement plan, especially if there's a match. Then consider opening a Roth IRA. Invest in low-cost index funds and contribute consistently, regardless of market conditions. Step 7. Increase your income. Look for ways to increase your income through raises, promotions, side hustles, or new income streams. Even a small increase in income can have a significant impact on your wealth building when invested consistently. Consider the story of Robert, who increased his income by $500 per month through a side business. Instead of spending this extra income, he invested it all. After 10 years, this additional $500 per month had grown to over $90,000 in investments, a significant boost to his wealth. Step 8. Continuously educate yourself. Make a commitment to continuous learning. Read at least one financial book per month, listen to financial podcasts, take courses, and seek out mentors who can guide your wealth building journey. Step 9. Review and adjust your plan. Review your financial plan quarterly and adjust as needed. Life circumstances change, goals evolve, and new opportunities arise. Your financial plan should be a living document that adapts to your changing needs and goals. Step 10. Stay the course. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be setbacks, temptations, and moments of doubt. Stay focused on your goals, maintain your millionaire mindset, and keep taking positive action every day. Remember, every small step you take today brings you closer to financial freedom tomorrow. Bonus chapter: Real life millionaire stories and lessons. The best way to learn is from the experiences of others. In this bonus chapter, we'll explore detailed stories of real people who built significant wealth using the principles we've discussed throughout this book. These stories will inspire you, provide practical lessons, and show you that wealth building is achievable for anyone willing to put in the work. Story 1. The teacher who became a millionaire. Meet Patricia, a 52-year-old high school teacher who retired with a net worth of $2.3 million. Her story shatters the myth that teachers can't build significant wealth. Patricia started teaching at age 22 with a starting salary of $28,000 per year. She never earned more than $65,000 in any single year, yet she managed to accumulate over $2 million by retirement. How? First, Patricia was a natural saver. From her very first paycheck, she set aside 20% of her income for savings and investments. She lived in a modest apartment, drove a reliable used car, and cooked most of her meals at home. She didn't deny herself pleasure, she just found affordable ways to enjoy life. Second, Patricia was a disciplined investor. She maxed out her 401k every year and also contributed to a Roth IRA. She invested primarily in low-cost index funds and never tried to time the market. When the stock market crashed in 2008, she stayed the course and continued investing. In fact, she increased her contributions during the downturn, buying stocks at bargain prices. Third, Patricia had multiple income streams. She tutored students after school, taught summer school classes, and developed educational materials that she sold online. These side hustles generated an additional $8,000, $12,000 per year, which she invested consistently. The lesson from Patricia's story is that you don't need a huge income to build wealth. Consistent saving, disciplined investing, and multiple income streams can turn a modest salary into millions over time. Story 2. The immigrant who built a real estate empire. Carlos emigrated to the United States from Mexico at age 20 with $200 in his pocket and a dream of building a better life. He started working as a construction laborer, earning minimum wage. Today, at age 48, he owns 12 rental properties worth over $3 million and has a net worth of approximately $2 million. Carlos's wealth building journey started when he bought his first property, a small, rundown duplex that no one else wanted. He lived in one unit and rented out the other. The rental income covered his mortgage, and he was able to save money for the first time in his life. After 2 years, he used his savings to buy another property. He repeated this process every 2-3 years, gradually building his real estate portfolio. He learned about real estate investing from books, podcasts, and other investors. He made mistakes along the way: a bad tenant, an unexpected repair, a deal that fell through, but he learned from each experience and kept moving forward. Carlos also developed a keen eye for undervalued properties. He learned to spot properties with potential that others overlooked, negotiate good deals, and make cost-effective improvements that increase property values. His construction background was invaluable. He could do much of the renovation work himself, saving thousands of dollars. The key lessons from Carlos's story are: start small and grow gradually. You don't need to buy a mansion to start building wealth in real estate. Leverage your existing skills. Carlos used his construction skills to save money on renovations. Be patient. Wealth building takes time. Carlos built his portfolio over 25 years. Learn from mistakes. Every setback is an opportunity to learn and improve. Story 3. The tech professional who retired at 40. Michelle was a software engineer at a major tech company, earning $130,000 per year plus stock options. She retired at age 40 with a net worth of $4.5 million. Her story illustrates how tech professionals can leverage their high salaries and stock options to achieve early financial independence. Michelle's strategy was simple but effective. She lived on 40% of her income and invested the rest. While her colleagues were buying expensive homes, luxury cars, and taking lavish vacations, Michelle rented a modest apartment, drove a Honda Civic, and took budget-friendly trips. She invested heavily in her company's stock, which appreciated significantly over time. She also diversified her investments across index funds, real estate, and bonds. Her annual savings rate was approximately $52,000, which she invested consistently for 15 years. When her company went public, her stock options were worth over $1.5 million. She sold most of them immediately, locking in her gains, and diversified into other investments. This windfall accelerated her path to financial independence. The key lessons from Michelle's story: leverage high income when you have it. If you're fortunate enough to earn a high salary, use it to accelerate your wealth building. Don't inflate your lifestyle. As your income grows, resist the temptation to upgrade your lifestyle proportionally. Take advantage of employer stock options. If your company offers stock options, they can be a powerful wealth building tool. Just make sure to diversify when appropriate. Set a clear target for financial independence. Michelle knew exactly when she wanted to retire and calculated how much she needed to save to achieve that goal. Story 4. the single parent who built wealth from scratch. Denise was a single mother of three who worked as an administrative assistant earning $38,000 per year. Despite her modest income and challenging circumstances, she built a net worth of over $500,000 by age 50. Denise's journey started with education. She realized that to increase her earning potential, she needed new skills. She enrolled in community college courses at night, eventually earning a degree in accounting. This degree allowed her to transition to a bookkeeping position paying $52,000 per year, a 37% increase in income. With her new income, Denise implemented a rigorous savings plan. She saved 25% of her income, living on a tight budget that still allowed for occasional treats for her children. She opened a 529 college savings plan for each child and contributed consistently. Denise also started a side business, tax preparation services, which generated an additional $8,000, $12,000 per year during tax season. She invested all of the side income in a Roth IRA. She purchased a modest home with an FHA loan, and after 5 years, she refinanced to a lower interest rate and shorter term. Her home was paid off by the time she turned 50, eliminating her largest expense. The key lessons from Denise's story: invest in yourself. Education and skill development can dramatically increase your earning potential. Start where you are. Denise didn't wait for the perfect circumstances, she worked with what she had. Use side hustles strategically. Denise used tax preparation skills to generate extra income during tax season. Prioritize housing costs. Getting her mortgage paid off early significantly reduced her expenses in retirement. Story 5. The couple who built wealth through real estate and frugality. Ben and Sarah are a couple in their early 40s with a combined net worth of $3.2 million. They both come from middle-class families and never received any inheritances. Their wealth came from a combination of aggressive saving, smart investing, and real estate. Ben works as a pharmacist earning $120,000 per year, and Sarah works as a nurse earning $75,000 per year. Together, they earn $195,000, comfortable but not extravagant. Their secret? They live on $80,000 per year and invest the rest. That's a savings rate of nearly 60%. They drive used cars, cook at home, take modest vacations, and have avoided lifestyle inflation despite their growing income. They invest primarily in index funds and real estate. They own their primary home purchase for $280,000, now worth $450,000, and 4 rental properties that generate a combined $4,500 per month in cash flow after expenses. Their real estate strategy is methodical. They buy properties that need some work, renovate them cost effectively, and rent them out. They typically buy properties in the $150,000, $200,000 range, put 20% down, and aim for a minimum 8% cash-on-cash return. The key lessons from Ben and Sarah's story: high savings rate is the fastest path to wealth. By living on less than half their income, they've accelerated their wealth building dramatically. Real estate can provide both income and appreciation. Their rental properties provide monthly cash flow while also appreciating in value. Consistency and patience are key. Ben and Sarah have been investing consistently for over 15 years. There are no shortcuts. Team up with a partner who shares your financial goals. Having a spouse who is on the same page makes wealth building much easier. Common themes from these stories: looking at these 5 stories, several common themes emerge. 1. Consistent, disciplined saving and investing. Every one of these wealthy individuals saved and invested consistently over many years. There were no shortcuts or get-rich-quick schemes. 2. Living below their means. Whether they earned $38,000 or $195,000 per year, all of these individuals lived well below their means. They found ways to enjoy life without overspending. 3. Multiple income streams. Every one of these individuals had more than one source of income. Side hustles, rental income, and investment income supplemented their primary earnings. 4. Continuous learning. All of them invested in their own education and financial literacy. They read books, listened to podcasts, took courses, and learned from mentors. 5. Patience and persistence. Building wealth took time, typically 15-25 years. There were setbacks and challenges along the way, but they stayed the course. 6. Taking calculated risks. Whether it was buying rental properties, starting a side business, or investing heavily in stocks, all of these individuals took calculated risks that paid off over time. 7. Giving back. Many of them mentored others, donated to charity, or found other ways to give back to their communities. These stories prove that the millionaire mindset isn't just a concept, it's a real, practical approach to building wealth that works for ordinary people in ordinary circumstances. You don't need to be a genius, a superstar athlete, or a celebrity to build wealth. You just need the right mindset, the right habits, and the patience to let compound growth work its magic. Conclusion: your wealth journey starts now. As we conclude this comprehensive guide to the millionaire mindset, I want to leave you with the final thought. Your wealth journey starts now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, now. Every day that you delay is a day of compound growth lost. Every dollar you fail to invest is a dollar that could have been working for you. Every lesson you fail to learn is knowledge that could have accelerated your success. The principles and strategies we've discussed in this book are not theoretical, they are proven, practical, and actionable. Thousands of ordinary people have used these exact strategies to build extraordinary wealth. You can too. Remember, becoming a millionaire isn't about earning a massive salary or getting lucky. It's about developing the right mindset, making smart financial decisions consistently, and staying the course even when it's difficult. Here are the key takeaways from our journey together. Mindset is everything. The way you think about money determines how you behave with money, which determines your financial results. Cultivate an abundance mindset. Think long term and believe in your ability to create wealth. Build a strong foundation. Before you can build wealth, you need financial stability. Eliminate high interest debt, build an emergency fund, and create a budget. These basics are non negotiable. Invest consistently and let compound growth work its magic. Time in the market beats timing the market. Start early, invest regularly, and stay invested through market downturns. Create multiple streams of income. Don't rely on a single source of income. Explore side hustles, passive income opportunities, and investment income to diversify your earnings. Continue learning and growing. The most successful people are lifelong learners. Read, listen, study, and seek out mentors who can guide your journey. Surround yourself with successful, positive people. Your environment shapes your thinking and your results. Choose your associations wisely. Protect your wealth. Build adequate insurance coverage. Create legal structures to protect your assets and develop an estate plan. Give back and build a legacy. True wealth isn't just about what you accumulate, it's about the positive impact you make on others and the legacy you leave behind. Your financial future is in your hands. The millionaire mindset isn't something you're born with, it's something you develop and practice. Every day is a new opportunity to think rich, act rich, and build the life of financial freedom you deserve. Start today. Start now. Your future self will thank you.